Well, we have left Lucerne on the train to Lake Como. We have to change at Arth Geldau. We came off the platform in Lake Como, walked outside, saw a taxi rank. Alas, no taxis came. We stood and waited 10 minutes. No buses came, so we had to get to our hotel, so off we walked with our suitcases. Uber doesn't really exist in Lake Como, and taxis only go to the major cities, usually as a transfer. We are travelling without SIM cards for a mobile phone, so we couldn't call anybody anyway. In the 1.5 days we spent in Lake Como, we never saw a taxi driving in the streets anywhere. So off we headed to our hotel, dragging our suitcases 1.2 kilometres across the cobblestone streets, some of them which are so bad we had to pick up the suitcases and carry them. After this trip to our hotel, my wife's suitcase wheel was broken. Parts of the footpath were so bad that I had to pick up both suitcases and carry them 20 kilograms for about 20 or 30 metres at a time. 2 days later we had to drag our suitcases back to San Giovani, and the same problem, but my wife had a broken wheel as well, which we had to buy a new suitcase in Venice. Partway through the journey from Lucerne to Lake Como, we had to change trains and platforms at Arth Geldau. Just go down the ramp, pick out your new platform and then go back up the ramp. We had the same challenge 2 days later, getting our suitcases back to San Giovani. There is a bus depot right beside where we're staying in Maggiore Place, but they do not operate at 6:30 a.m. So after our experience in Lake Como, the only fantastic thing about it is the lake and the beautiful villages on the lake. It is a beautiful trip. Here we are in Lake Como. Welcome to Italy. Get off the train, there was an absolute mess. Get to outside the train station. There is no taxis anywhere at all to pick anybody up. And in the background you see at the start of about 50 steps, bring the suitcases down. Welcome to Como. If you find yourself in this situation when you get to San Giovani, go down the road on the right or the left. Don't go down the steps. You can wheel your luggage down the road. Our hotel is above this restaurant. In Italy, you have a government tax that you have to pay for every hotel. It's €2 per person per night. Well, we finally met up with the owner of the apartment, looking out the window. The wharf down there is the ferry that leaves to go on Lake Como. Oh, we headed out for our afternoon adventure in Lake Como. This hotel was about halfway between where the ferries leave from and our hotel. It's called the Palace. It's a very nice place. There's a restaurant as well. There's a menu board on the front fence. Looking up the mountain where the funicular goes up. We were standing in line here for the funicular. There was such a huge lineup at one stage. We waited for a fair while and then we decided not to worry about it. It was over 30 degrees in the hot sun. Headed off through the streets of Como, heading up towards the cathedral. This cathedral, Il Duomo di Como, was built in 1396 and it took 400 years to build. Oh, this is nice. I like this spot. This is where we found out about Caperto, table tax. It varies from different restaurants, from €1.50 up to €3.50 per person. if you sit at the table. If you do takeaways, it costs you nothing. Coperto or table charge is at every restaurant across Italy. If you come underneath the cathedral where the arches are, there is free Wi-Fi. Yeah. The surf. You remember this? We just dragged our suitcases across this square on the way to our hotel apartment. Our apartment was in the Gory place. You can see all the buses parked there. This is also the spot where the ferry leaves to go for the tours on Lake Como. The bus depot, you see the buses up there. When we came out to go back to San Giovani in the morning at 6:30, there was no buses operating. We're going to Como early in the morning. This is a time to walk around. There's nobody here yet, and it's much cooler. Just here right now. Just going down to see if you can buy a ticket to go on the lake. I don't know what time it opens. You can't find anything on their website. Can't find anything on the ticket office. So going to have a look. So quite beautiful when there's not 5 million people here. It's just after 7 o'clock. It's the best time to get here. There's only a small lineup, maybe 10 people, which is better than about 200 that was here yesterday. Just look for the flags at the ticket office and the wharf where the boats embark from. I got here at 7 o'clock to buy tickets. There's really no notice of what time they open. I think it was between 8 and 8:30 before they opened. Here we are lined up to get on the boat now, and it's 9:30. This is actually looks like a lot better time to come and get tickets. It's 9:30, there's hardly any wait, and there's 2 operators and the ticket booths working. So it's probably better than coming at 20 past 7 and waiting for 50 minutes. If you want a one-day pass, this free circulation ticket down the bottom is the one you want for ordinary boat runs. So this boat was actually the first boat. It was 9:30. There was no other boats before this one. This is the website if you want to get tickets online, but it's easier, I think, to wait and buy them from here on the day. That trip on Lake Como is quite a good one, it's quite large, and there's a lot of passengers, so it's going to be busy anyway. We were fortunate to get on quickly, so we got one of the best seats in the house, or in this case on the boat. It pays to get here early to get a great seat. If you look out on the wharf, you'll see the huge lineup out there So we got the best seat on the boat, and it was a fantastic day on the lake. Yeah, my wife. Bellagio and Verena is probably two of the most visited villages on the lake, and Villa Balbianello and Villa Carlotta is probably about the most two visited out of the 9 villas on the lake. That's the fast boat that just passed us, but it doesn't stop at all the towns, it just goes straight to Bellagio. Some of the wind was so strong on the lake, I had to turn the sound to mute because all you could hear was wind. It's definitely all about being on the lake. The towns are beautiful, but it's fantastic cruising the lake. The day trip on the lake was absolutely glorious. You just have to remember when you're coming back not to leave it too late because you'll miss your boat and it's a long walk in the dark. And I kid you not, this does happen. Fast harbor foil again. It's not as much fun as this one though. It gets there a lot faster, but doesn't stop. Look at all these amazing towns. There is some amazing little towns on the lake. Coming up past Villa Balbianello. This is a stop for Villa Carlotta. We've arrived in Bellagio, we're just docking now. Here we are, getting off in Bellagio. Another beautiful day in Lake Como. Bellagio. Oh yes, it's very pretty walking along, coming off the boat at Bellagio. Bellagio is extremely pretty. Looking out from Bellagio. This restaurant is the only place I found where you could go to the toilet. They may be here somewhere, but this is the only one we found. Now, because it has an outdoor section, it's very easy to walk inside. Just a few quick photographs of ourselves in Bellagio. There's beautiful little cobblestone streets and alleyways everywhere, just beautiful. beautiful park. In Bellagio. Heading out of Bellagio, up the lake a little bit further, and then we head back towards Como. This beautiful town is Lino. This is the one you need to get off to go to Villa Balbianello. It's approximately a 1.2 kilometre walk, I believe, to the villa. If you enjoyed this video, please like or subscribe. That would be amazing. Thank you. Coming back past Villa Balbianello, it really is a beautiful place. For those of you that weren't aware, that this is the setting for the scenes from Star Wars 2, The Attack of the Clones, and the James Bond movie Casino Royale. We are heading back to Lake Como now. Tomorrow morning very early, it's at 6:30. We are heading to San Giovani Railway Station. We're off to Venice early tomorrow morning for a couple of days. Our next stop after Venice is Bologna. Has the most complicated railway station, about 4 stations in one, very difficult to navigate. I hope you can find the time to join us for our travel through Venice. If it saves you from making some of the mistakes we made, then that's perfect.